If you look before that, you will notice that he was talking about the seed, the seed, the seed, the seed, and how the enemy also came and planted his own seed. And this thing was a secret. It was kept as a secret. Ha! My God. So now, okay, sit down. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. So the devil knew that he was going to be defeated by the woman. Okay? And his descendants are going to be defeated by the descendants of the woman. So there's a war between me and this woman. And the next generations are going to continue fighting. And my seed is going to bruise the heel of her seed. And her seed is going to crush the head of my seed. Now let me show you something. And when Lucifer started multiplying himself in chapter number 6, the Bible then quickly tells us that the Nephilims were born, which means the fallen ones. They are products of the fallen ones. Because when angels, when you see them coming down having sexual relationships with women, they are already fallen. They will not fall later. They've already fallen. They can't do that before falling. So the product is given a name that has to do with their nature of falling. They are fallen. But they were giants. Men of renown. That's the description there. Men of old. Men of renown. They were established giants, very big in stature. We'll give you the measurements and everything. We'll talk about that. But look at this. Look at this. These people were so big and very violent. Because even if you are going to look at chapter 6, before even the destruction of the world, God openly said the whole earth is filled with violence. Because of the Nephilims, which means bully. When you have the Nephilims multiplying, you have chaos multiplying as well. Now, before we talk about the destruction, let's finish this part. So now, you see, look at this. Do you know that when David went from the field where he was looking after his father's sheep, he was holding on to a sling, and he carried some 5 stones, right? One for Goliath, and also because Goliath had 4 brothers. So he took 5 stones, and Goliath was also a giant. Goliath was a Nephilim. I'll describe to you, I'll prove to you. And God himself, okay, look at this. And when David killed Goliath, he didn't kill Goliath with a sling. No. He used a sling, a stone, to hit Goliath, and when Goliath fell, and probably maybe he fainted, right? David then ran towards the enemy, and he took his sword. And he had to cut off his head. Right? And if you read your entire Bible, you'll notice that David then carried the head of Goliath, and then he took the sword and surrendered the sword, and the sword was kept in the house of God. Listen to me. But he never surrendered the head. Listen to me. Listen to me. Do you know what happened? It is believed up to now that he might have taken the head of Goliath to Jerusalem. And then he buried the head of Goliath in a place. And the place was then called Golgotha. Now, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Golgotha means the place of the skull, not skulls, skull. It was not called. Listen, please, let me explain. Please sit down. Let me finish this first. So now he took the head of Goliath, right, to a place. If you look at those two names, Goliath and Golgotha, they are coming from the same root. And it is called the place of the skull. Where Jesus was crucified, it's called the place of the skull. Not because there were many skulls of people that were crucified there, but because originally there was an outstanding skull that was buried there. So prophetically, David was able to carry the head of the serpent to its rightful place, where he knew that the heel of Jesus was going to tread upon. Now, listen. I wanted to get something. So when Jesus was hanging on the cross, you look at the head of the Nephilim, the seed of the serpent, and you look at the heel of the seed of the woman. So prophetically, David knew exactly where Jesus was going to crush the head of the seed of the serpent. Are you following this? Now sit down, let me show you something. And also, do you know that if you are to do a thorough study on how Jesus was crucified, the nails were not pushed through the center of the feet. It was right at the joint, coming out through the heel. He was bruised. That's how Jesus was crucified. Now, listen to me. The holes were not at the center of the feet, please. They came out through the heel into the cross. And who was doing that? The seed of the serpent. There was a generation there. And when Jesus, with that bruised heel, he also went to a place where the skull, the head of the serpent, was buried. And he was right on top of the head, hanging there on the cross, knowing that I'm now treading upon the head of the serpent. That's where Lucifer was ultimately disarmed and destroyed. Not today when you see demons coming out, no. Some more than 2,000 years back. That's when the head of the serpent was crushed. How do you crush the head of the serpent? You crush the head of the serpent by crushing his ideas and plans and strategies against your people. Which means every strategy of the devil against your life is under the heel of Jesus. What did he say when he said, "I've given you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions"? The power is given to you, right? To move around with your heel. Because it's already predicted, it's already prophesied that your level of operation is above the brains and the ability and the reasonings of the devil. You're always above. Sit down. So way before Jesus came, Lucifer knew that God was going to send somebody to rescue men. My God, your way. Listen to this. It's going. Are you aware that even before Jesus was sent to come down here and redeem men, it wasn't Jesus who was sent first. It was the devil. Do you know that the devil was right on the heart of God before. Remember, I taught about the pre-Adamic race, the world that existed before Genesis chapter 1. I talked about that. And I said there were people, I don't want really to call them people like us. I don't know whether they were like us. But there was a race that lived before Adam. Okay. And there were creatures, and I gave you scriptures and scriptures, scriptures upon scriptures, and how God destroyed that first world. And then we get to Genesis chapter 1, where God is now reviving the world that he had destroyed. Right? And it was during that time, that pre-Adamic race, where Lucifer was sent as the Messiah. The same mission that was given to Jesus, it was first of all given to Lucifer, to come down here and to demonstrate the love of the Father to the creation.